Cooper? Where's Cooper? Is he okay?
Shh. He's fine, sweetheart. Just rest. I'll explain everything later.
But the words landed wrong. Too practiced, too quick. A cold dread began to creep through the fog of anesthesia.
When can I see him? He'll be worried sick about me.
Soon. Let's get you settled at home first. He's fine, I promise.
The apartment felt hollow. In the living room corner, Cooper's bed was vacant, his favorite toy untouched.
He should have been right there, tail wagging, ready to comfort her. He never misses greeting her at the door.
He must have slipped out when I brought in the groceries. I've called all the shelters.
He's a certified service dog, Mom. He doesn't bolt. He's trained to stay by my side. Something's very wrong. She's hiding the truth. I know it.
Olivia's eye swept the room. By the door, Cooper's leash and collar hung untouched. He never went anywhere without them.
Look, his leash is still here. He would never bolt without his gear. What really happened?
I already told you. He must have slipped out. Dogs do unpredictable things.
Unpredictable isn't Cooper. He's a service dog. This lie is falling apart.
She grabbed her phone and dialed every shelter within 50 miles. Each call ended with the same hollow answer. Carol pulled out her own phone. A Craigslist notification flashed on the screen before she shoved it back into her pocket.
No golden retriever at all? I'll send a photo, please. He's a service dog. He's vital.
The panic she'd been holding back crashed through. Her chest tightened, breaths shallow and rapid. Without Cooper, the ground was gone.
He always presses against my legs when this starts. Where is he? I can't do this alone.
She sank onto the couch, clutching Cooper's worn stuffed duck. Carol stood in the doorway, watching, her expression unreadable. Days bled together in a fog of flyers and dead-end shelter calls. Cooper had simply ceased to exist in town.
You are pushing yourself too hard. I'll take over the search. You need sleep.
Sleep? With him out there alone? She doesn't get it. Or she doesn't want to.
Then an elderly woman from the complex pulled Olivia aside with a chilling detail.
A neighbor saw you, Mom. She saw you put Cooper in your car the day of my surgery. No groceries, just the dog.
She's confused. People see all kinds of things. That's not what happened.
Confused? That neighbor described my dog, right down to the patches on his vest.
But every denial hardened Olivia's certainty. Her mother was lying. And it wasn't small.
I am your mother. Why would I hurt you? You are being paranoid, sweetheart.
Late that night, she opened the Craigslist app on her phone, scrolling through pet listings, a premonition knotting her gut. 2 weeks after surgery, hope had calcified to a dull throb. Then, in the gray light of early morning, her phone rang.
Olivia Hart? James Alder. Cooper's breeder. His microchip just flagged an alert.
What? Is he okay? Where is he?
A buyer brought a golden retriever into a Vermont clinic for a checkup. The microchip scan pinged her registration.
The new owner paid $1,800 cash to a woman named Carol. She said the dog's owner had passed.
Carol, my own mother, sold my service dog for cash while I was under the knife.
The phone trembled in her hand. The pieces she'd refused to assemble now formed a monstrous picture.
I've got him safe at my kennel. He's okay, but you deserve the truth.
Keep him there. I am coming, and I'll make sure she pays for this.
The breeder gave her the address. 9 hours of highway separated her from the one soul who had never betrayed her.
You sold my service dog, Mom. While I was in surgery, you took $1,800 like he was a piece of furniture.
I did what I had to. That dog was a burden, and you couldn't afford his upkeep anymore.
A burden? He's the reason I can walk through a supermarket without collapsing.
She didn't argue. She pressed the red icon and severed the last thread of obligation. Within minutes, a pet-friendly motel in Vermont was booked. She threw a duffel bag onto the passenger seat and started the engine. She merged onto the interstate, the engine hum the only sound in a world that had suddenly lost its center.
When I see James, I'll thank him. Then I'll hold Cooper and never let go.
Olivia, please, let me explain. I was going to pay you back. Don't do this.
She let it ring. The screen lit up with Mother until it dimmed. Then she blocked the number. 9 hours stretched ahead. She drove east toward the Green Mountains, where a good man and a golden dog were waiting. She drove through the night, one hand on the wheel, the other clutching Cooper's tattered duck. The toy smelled like him.
When the flashbacks hit, he'd press his weight against me, ground me. He never failed once.
Her phone buzzed. Carol's voicemail arrived, uninvited.
Olivia, I needed the money. I was drowning. Please, don't do this.
Her thumb pressed delete before the message finished. Near Albany, brake lights flared. A wreck had sealed the interstate for 40 minutes. Then dawn broke over the Green Mountains. A sign, "Welcome to Vermont." She turned down a gravel lane bordered by kennel buildings. James stood waiting, keys glinting in his hand.
You made good time. He's been restless all night, like he knew.
Olivia killed the engine. Her legs were trembling, but she was here. James led her down a corridor of soft whines and wagging tails. He stopped at the last run. The key turned. Before the gate swung wide, Cooper's recognition sharpened into a wild, joyful bark.
Cooper, Cooper, I am here. Oh God, I am here.
She dropped to her knees on the concrete, the dog colliding with her chest, his whole body wagging.
My boy, my service. My reason for leaving the house. She tried to take him away.
The microchip doesn't lie. The vet's alert came through the National Registry within hours.
He tapped the screen. The Craigslist listing loaded. Golden Retriever, family pet, owner deceased, $1,800.
The seller's number. That's my mother. Owner deceased? She sold me out while I was on the table.
Her hand shot out, fingers tapping the screen faster. Screenshots of the ad, the microchip record, the vet alert. She straightened, jaw set. The evidence was solid. Now she had to decide what justice meant.
Theft of a service animal is a felony here. Up to $7,500 in fines, plus restitution.
A felony. That could put her away for years. She's my mother.
Her phone buzzed. A text from Carol. "After everything I did for you, this is how you repay me?" Olivia's jaw tightened. She deleted it without reply.
I'll take it from here. Thank you, James, for everything.
Cooper climbed into the passenger seat, already pressing his head against her shoulder. She merged onto the highway south. The evidence locked in her email, Tim-stamped it and undeniable.
This isn't revenge. It's accountability. He was my partner, not a payday.
A service dog was more than a pet. It was a lifeline. One her mother had tried to cut. The hardest part lay ahead. But she was no longer the wounded woman who woke up missing half her soul. She pulled into her apartment lot. Cooper's warm head on her thigh, the only calm in a gathering storm.
I need to report a theft. My certified service dog. Yes, my mother. I have the records.
The officer's tone sharpened. Service animal theft was a felony here, protected by the ADA on federal grounds. She emailed the Craigslist evidence and James's statement before hanging up. The case number arrived within minutes. That afternoon, Carol's phone rang with an unknown number. The caller ID read County Investigations.
Investigations. There's been a mistake. I don't know anything about any dog.
She hung up and dialed Olivia. The line went to voicemail after a single ring, blocked. Olivia parked down the street from her mother's house. Cooper's service vest lay folded on the passenger seat.
She's in there, probably spinning the next excuse, but I'm done accepting her lies.
She stepped onto the curb, leash in hand. The moment of confrontation was no longer a question. It was here. Olivia walked up the path, Cooper's leash taut with his alert energy. She pressed the bell.
What are you doing here with that dog? You can't just show up like this.
The door swung inward, then froze against Olivia's foot. Her mother's face drained of color.
I know you sold him, Mom. I have the Craigslist ad, the microchip alert, the buyer's statement.
I did nothing wrong. That dog was a drain on you. I was helping.
She slammed the oak panel hard enough to rattle the frame. Olivia pulled back just in time.
She's still playing the victim. I am done waiting for an apology.
She stepped back onto the walkway and pulled out her phone. Her thumb found the case number. The call connected before the first ring. The dispatcher's voice crackled through the speaker. Olivia's voice was steady. She was ready. At the precinct, she signed her name beneath the complaint. The evidence packet was deposited without ceremony. Hours later, a detective called Carol. On speaker, her denials came fast and shrill.
It was a private arrangement. That dog was too much for her. I found him a good home.
The official notice arrived by certified mail. Theft of a service animal. Felony. Olivia stood at her kitchen counter, Cooper's chin resting on her thigh. Relief tasted like copper.
It's really happening, boy. She won't be able to twist this into a favor.
Carol left 5 voicemails that night. Olivia deleted each one before the recording finished. The machine of justice, once set in motion, ground forward without sentiment. Cooper nuzzled her palm, sensing the shift in her breathing, the loosening knot in her chest. For the first time since waking alone in the hospital, she knew she would be whole again. Weeks later, Olivia sat across from a victim advocate, her pen scratching out the impact of losing Cooper. The words on the page, "Without him, flashbacks pinned me down. He is not replaceable." Her phone buzzed. Carol's attorney. The offer was wrapped in silk. Reduce the charge, and her mother would apologize publicly.
An apology doesn't give me back the weeks I spent without my partner. No deal.
In a downtown office, Carol's attorney hung up and faced her. The look told her the plea was dead.
She can't do this to me. I am her mother. What kind of daughter sends her mother to jail?
The lawyer's reply was muted, but final. The evidence was overwhelming. Jail time was possible. That evening, Olivia sat on her floor. Cooper's service vest stretched across her lap.
No more bargains. She tried to erase you, but we're still standing.
Cooper thumped his tail once, as if in agreement. The court date was 3 weeks out, and she would not flinch. 3 days before the hearing, James called with an unexpected development.
The buyer just contacted me. She's devastated. She had no idea the dog was stolen.
He forwarded the email. Her words trembled on the screen. "I am horrified. He was never mine to keep." Through the court, the buyer voluntarily returned the full $1,800. The police report was amended. The buyer's statement confirmed the fraud. Carol had told her the owner had passed.
She lied to both of us. That poor person believed she was giving a home to a dog whose owner died.
A strange comfort settled over her. Someone else had been deceived, but they had done the right thing. She called her lawyer. The buyer's cooperating. This case is airtight now. The restitution order was drafted. Carol would not only face fines, she would repay every cent. For the first time, Olivia felt the scales tipping toward real accountability. The hearing was only days away. In the nights before the hearing, Carol's voicemails became a nightly rain. 6, 7, 8, each one more desperate than the last.
I am sorry, sweetheart. I was wrong. Please just let me explain.
Olivia deleted each message before the end. The sound of her mother's voice was a trigger she no longer tolerated. Then Carol showed up at her door. The buzzer screamed at 9 in the evening.
Olivia, I know you are in there. You can't ignore me forever.
Through the peephole, Olivia watched her mother's distorted face. She didn't move.
Stay quiet. She'll leave. She always leaves when she gets tired.
She turned up the white noise on her phone, drowning the pounding in a waterfall of static. Hours later, the memory of that voice triggered a full panic attack. Her chest locked, the room spun. Then Cooper climbed onto her chest, his weight pressing the air back into her lungs. The dog she'd fought for was fighting for her now. The courtroom was silent as Carol Hart rose, her navy dress too stiff, her hands clasped in front of her.
Your Honor, I plead guilty to the charge. I sold the dog. I didn't realize it was a crime.
The judge listed the penalty without inflection. Fine, $7,500. Restitution to the buyer, $1,800.
He is my certified service animal. He keeps me alive when my mind tries to kill me. She knew that.
Her voice did not waver. She read the impact statement like a soldier delivering a report. Carol's lips moved. I am sorry. The words died in the air between them. Olivia did not turn her head. The gavel fell. 2 sharp cracks. The case of State versus Hart was closed.
It's over. She can't hurt us anymore. We're free.
Carol slumped in her chair. The lawyer touched her arm, but she didn't react. Outside, Olivia breathed deep. Cooper thumped his tail against the car window. The long fight had ended, and she had won back her own life. She began to dismantle the apartment piece by piece, donating furniture and packing only what mattered. The couch, where she'd cried for days, went to a thrift store. She kept only Cooper's bed, his vest, and her small box of photographs.
I called a clinic up there. They handle service animals. It's all set. Coop.
She updated his service dog certification with the new address, the paperwork, a quiet promise of the future. The last box held a framed photo from his training graduation, her in uniform, Cooper wearing his first vest.
We've come so far, boy. She almost stole you, but we're still standing.
The moving truck rumbled to life. Cooper jumped into the passenger seat, his head finding its place on her shoulder. She didn't glance in the rearview mirror as she pulled away. The skyline shrank to nothing. The new town nestled in a valley. Quiet streets and a porch with a mountain view. She parked and stepped onto the porch. Cooper's tail wagged. The next chapter was hers. Spring came. Olivia pushed her hands into the soil along the fence, planting rose bushes that would never uproot themselves.
The dirt here is softer. I never thought I'd be someone who gardens.
But the past still visited. A nightmare seized her at 2 in the morning. The door slamming, the empty apartment, the betrayal. She woke gasping, but Cooper was already there, pressing his full weight across her chest, grounding her in the dark.
Good boy.
The next week, she walked into the town's VA clinic and registered as a new patient. On the way out, she passed a bulletin board of veteran support groups. She paused, then took a flyer. Later, she sat on the porch and opened a letter from James. He hoped the new life was peaceful.
Peaceful, that's the word. I am not running anymore.
Cooper stretched at her feet. The mountains folded into dusk, and the house felt like a home. She walked to the mailbox on a crisp autumn morning. Among the bills, a postcard with a covered bridge. She flipped it over, and her jaw tightened. The handwriting was Carol's. Without reading, she carried it inside and placed it on the hallway table. Cooper rested his head on her lap, grounding her in the present. That same morning, Carol's trembling hand had dropped the card into a mailbox 3 states away. Later, Olivia slipped the unopened postcard into a kitchen drawer. She sat on the porch as the evening sun dipped behind the mountains. The house stayed quiet, the postcard forgotten. The next day, she clipped on Cooper's vest and walked into town. Carol sat alone, staring at a photograph, waiting for a reply that would never come. 1 year later, on the anniversary of her surgery, Olivia walked out of therapy and found it. A covered bridge postcard tucked under her windshield wiper. Same postmark. Same deliberate handwriting. She didn't open it. That evening, she lit the fire pit and let the flames climb.
She thinks I'll break, but I won't read a word. Not this year. Not ever.
She held the postcard over the flames, the heat buckling its edges.
Some bridges stay burned.
Cooper watched from the porch, tail wagging slow. No alarm in his eyes. The paper blackened to ash. The words she'd refused dissolved into nothing. Later, she watered the roses, her hands steady. The ritual was complete. Miles away, Carol's hand trembled over a fresh postcard. 1 more year, 1 more plea she'd never know was ashes. Olivia was on her knees in the garden. The 3rd autumn since the surgery, when the mail truck rumbled away, she brushed dirt from her hands and shuffled through the stack. A covered bridge postcard, same glossy finish, same Vermont postmark. Without checking the back, she tore the card cleanly in half, then dropped the pieces into the recycling bin.
Predictable as rain. She'll never know it ended up in the trash.
She crouched back down, pulling weeds from the damp soil, humming an old song from her service days. Cooper padded over and nosed her elbow, tail swinging lazily.
Just you and me, buddy.
She scratched behind his ears, and the last shred of guilt about the postcards finally dissolved. The seasons turned. After that, the mailbox held only bills and vet reminders, plus a thank you note from James. 3 years. 3 postcards. None opened. The bridge was gone, and she never looked back. Not once. On a bright Saturday, she walked Cooper through the farmer's market, passing stalls of honey and sunflowers. A woman in a veteran's cap stopped them, trading quick smiles and phone numbers for coffee. That evening on the porch, she opened her journal and wrote not about the past, but about plans, a new hiking trail, a volunteer shift at the clinic, a life that was finally her own to design. She passed the mirror and paused. The woman looking back was not a victim.
I'm okay.
Cooper thumped his tail at her feet, a quiet confirmation. The valley stretched into dusk, and the home she'd built held only the people and the dog who had earned a place in it. She had not forgotten. She had simply chosen to stop carrying what never belonged to her. She rested her hand on Cooper's vest, the microchip tag glinting in the last light. The safety net was no longer fragile. The porch was silent, except for the distant song of crickets. The sun melting gold over the mountains. Cooper's head rested heavy on her lap, his breathing a slow, steady tide. Her thumb found the microchip tag under his vest, the tiny spark of technology that had brought him home. A small smile crossed her lips. Not victory, not bitterness, just a deep, earned peace. She no longer needed the postcards or the apology. She had already reclaimed the only thing that mattered. Cooper's tail swept across the warm wood in a lazy, contented arc. The mountains cradled the last light, and the valley below surrendered to dusk. This was the life she'd built, not measured by loss, but by the quiet weight of his head on her knee. Her fingers traced the raised letters on his vest. Service dog. A promise kept, and his tail kept its patient rhythm, a heartbeat in the fading light. As the credits began to rise,